To start off the investigation, I had to find out the horizontal distance the bullet was shot. To do that, I needed to find out how far away from the window the shooter was and how far away the school is from the house. The diagram here shows that the measurements, and in the diagram given in our packets, it already was given the distance between the school and the house, which was 148.5 meters. So to find out from how far away the shooter was standing from the window, I went back to the pictures of the crime scene and found that he was 9 carpet squares away from the window. So I went out to the hub and measured 1 carpet square, which was 0.6 meters. Then I multiplied that by 9, and that was the distance between the window and the shooter, which is 5.4 meters, and I added that to the distance between the school and the house to get 153.9 meters. Next, I found that the gun was a Luger 9mm. The director in the packet told me to measure the diameter of the bullet, and it was 9mm. So that's how I found out which gun was used. And then I went back to the chart with the type of guns and their speeds, and it said that the Luger 9mm goes 600 feet per second. But this investigation, the units we were using is meters, so I had to convert it to meters, like it is shown here. And the gun goes 182.87 meters per second. To find the time it took for the bullet to strike the house, I used the second equation with the x variables, because in this equation I knew every value except the time value. So I used this to find out the time. To find the height of where the bullet struck the house, I went back to the photo of the house, and there was a meter reference on it, and the meter was 1.8 centimeters. So I used this proportion to find out that the height of where the bullet struck the house was 8.7 centimeters, which is 4.8 meters. To find the height of the bottom of the 3rd floor window to the ground, I used the meter reference in the picture, and the meter was 10 millimeters. So I used this proportion and measured from the bottom of the 3rd floor window to the ground, which was 77 millimeters, and converted it to meters. To find the height of the 3rd floor window to the floor, I went out to the hub and measured that it was 80 centimeters, and I knew that 1 meter is 100 centimeters, so I used this proportion to find out that it was 0.8 meters in the height from the bottom of the 3rd floor window to the floor of the 3rd floor. To find the vertical height the bullet fell to where it struck the house, I used the second equation with y variables and did the math here, and the zeros canceled out. So this is the math, and the height of where the bullet struck the house, the vertical distance of where the bullet struck the house, was negative 3.5 meters. Then to get the height of where the bullet was shot to the ground, I added the height of where the bullet struck to the height of how much it fell to get negative 8.3 meters. Then to find the height of the gun to the floor, I added the bottom of the 3rd floor window height to the floor to the height difference between, so I added this to this to get the height of the gun to the floor. The 0.8 is from the bottom of the 3rd floor window to the floor, and the difference here is that the 7.7 is the height of the school building, and this is from where the height of where it was shot at. So then I got 0.6, and this was 1.4 meters is the height of the gun to the floor. And this means that the shoulder height of the suspect is approximately 1.4 meters. And it's shoulder height because the suspect can't be 1.4 meters tall, because you can't no one would shoot a gun from the top of their heads. They would pull out their arm and it would be at shoulder height. Then to find out which suspect was the killer, I went back to the CSI mugshots and converted the height of each suspect from feet and inches to total inches, and then sent it to meters using a proportion. The suspect had to be 1.4 meters tall by the shoulder height, and one of the suspects was 53 inches tall shoulder height, which was 1.3 meters shoulder height, and if I rounded that, it was 1.4 meters. So the killer is Mr. Ramirez, and this is the work that I did to find that out.